Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you are joining us. Once again, my name is Abosede Jojogan, and I'm co-founder for Elect Her. Welcome to another episode, the third of When She Leads, brought to you by Elect Her in partnership with the National Endowment for Democracy, NED. We're really excited to have our guest in the house today. But before we bring her on, allow me, for those who have, if this is the first time that you're joining an Elect Her event, welcome. If this is not your first time, then welcome back. Elect Her is a non-partisan, end-to-end women's political advancement organization addressing the underrepresentation of women in elective office in Nigeria. Elect Her recently launched Agenda 35. And Agenda 35 is our initiative ahead of 2023 to empower 1,000 women to run and directly support 35 women to decide, run, and win elections in 2023. Hopefully, Morenike can put something in the chat for us around how you can find out more information, but I'll encourage you and welcome you to sign our petition, share it, and make sure that your friends, families, and everybody sign it too. So without further ado, allow me to introduce our guest for today, Honorable Kate Raymond Mamuno is a member of the Adamawa State House of Assembly representing Demsa constituency. In 2009, Honorable Mamuno became the sole female legislator in the Adamawa State House of Assembly. She currently serves as the chairperson for both Adamawa's House Committee on Finance, Appropriation, and Budget, and the House Committee on Women's Affairs. Honorable Mamuno is a strong advocate against sexual and gender-based violence. In 2021, she sponsored the passage of the VAP bill, which is the bill against gender-based violence in the State Assembly. Welcome, Honorable. We are really excited to have you here. Please, if you can unmute so we can start the conversation.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Great. All right. So without further ado, please let's dive into this conversation. Honorable, tell us your story. What is your story to your political journey? Share with us some of the obstacles, what inspired you to get here. When She Leads it's what we're curating as Elect Her to show women who are interested in running and to inspire other women to run, to show them that other women like you, Honorable, have done it. So please share with us your journey to politics, some of the obstacles, some of the key highlights, and what has inspired you so far. Over to you, ma'am.
Good. Thank you. My coordinator or co-founder, right? My political journey was a kind of trial and error. I was a civil servant in the Adamawa State House, in the Adamawa State government. And after retiring from the service, I was contemplating to go into academics, that's to lecture, since I am an accountant by training, a professional accountant for that matter. While I was in that, something came up that I should go and contest for the Adamawa State House of Assembly seat. That's a member representing Demsa. And I woke up. Of course, I contacted so many people to kind of get their ideas as to how I will join politics. I've never known politics before. I have no passion for politics, because I felt politics is purely for the men. Although in Adamawa State, my zone is producing women sometimes, So, but just recently, so I decided to heed the call of my people to join politics. So when I started the campaigning, the women are really in need of a woman representative. Now they said whatsoever it will take them, they will do it so that they will ensure that I'm in the House of Assembly to represent them. I'm talking honestly, I took it upon myself not to disappoint them. I joined politics, and during the primary election, people were like, she will not make it. Who is she? When did she come to system? Who is that and that? So many things, so many challenges that as a woman, my zone, I said, women, we are tired of women. But you see, it is divinely that I'm here today as honorable member, House of Assembly, representing the Demsa constituency, courtesy of my youth and women. And I'm not saying the men did not participate. No. Honestly, my financier, or let me put it, my strong supporter is a man, a retired DIG from my zone. He is in Abuja presently. He supported me with all his resources, his time, and whatever. Even the vehicles for the campaign, he's the one that provided it. So I think I was like a spoiled child in politics because people really rallied around me. They gave me all their support. I didn't have that kind of challenges, seriously. It's not as if I don't have it, but because some people don't like the representation of women. They were, I cannot go there, I cannot do this, but I have challenges, so to say. So right now, I'm in the Adamawa State House Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. You highlighted 3 major points that I think are so interesting. And for those of us who are just joining us, welcome. This is When She Leads, and we're talking to Honorable Mamuno. So you highlighted 3 things that I would want to sort of reiterate. The first one is the role of youth and women in getting you elected. And I think that this is so important because most times when we talk about the role of youth and women, who are typically marginalized groups or excluded groups when it comes to the political process, then it seems like, oh, wow, we're always talking about them. But the evidence shows that they play a critical role to get women elected especially, and I'm so glad that you highlighted that. The second thing that you highlighted was the role of having a man as an ally, right? Because as we see today, and you said it, one of the barriers is women were just not participating in Adamawa. And so if you wanted to look at the current status quo that had only men in the State House of Assembly because you're the only woman, you will be discouraged. You will not know how to go about it, where to start from. But you had a man who was willing to share his own personal resources, his networks, his time, to support you and to push you and to give you sort of the leap that you needed to get involved. And the final thing was the finances. You said the finances as well was provided to you and obviously played a critical role to your process. I just wanted to reiterate this, but please, can you speak back to some of these things that I've just highlighted, Honorable, and tell us, is this true, what I'm saying? Are these things critical and important in ensuring that as a woman who is interested in elective office, you should have these things?
Like I was saying, I said some women went as far as selling their, their products or their produce. Some sell their wrappers to give me money to support me, in order to represent them in the State Assembly. And the youth, they gave me their moral and their financial support or any funny story. It is a reality. This happened to me in my constituency. So about the person that supported me morally again and his finances is the former DIG, Deputy Inspector General of Police. He's retired now. He supported me with his resources, with his, a lot of things. He gave me even cars. The security van was there. He helped me to walk around my constituency. All the units in my constituency, I walked in to ensure I have a touch of their unit or whatever problem they are having. This man is here today. He can testify, like I'm saying now, because I'm not lying. I cannot lie, and I owe him all whatever it takes in the House of Assembly to ensure that he's equally, he's given my kind of inputs or support for him in whatever thing he does, he will do next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. For those people just joining us, welcome to When She Leads. Please feel free to start to put your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll be sure to take them as we go along. So, Honorable, let's come now to the work you have been doing. You are holding a very, very powerful portfolio. Yes, I can hear you and I can see you. You are holding a very powerful portfolio, both budget and appropriation, but also women's rights. And we know that you're an advocate of the Violence Against People's Act. Can you tell us a little bit about the process of sponsoring that bill and just doing the work that you do in the State House of Assembly, being the only woman? How do you get the support you need? I'm sure there are people from other parties, maybe or maybe not, but just share with us a little bit about the work now that you're elected.
Yeah, thank you. As you rightly said, I'm the Chairman, House Committee on Finance, Appropriation and Budget. Like I told you earlier on, I am a professional accountant and finance. So in reaching the House of Assembly chambers, the Speaker deemed it fit to give me the House Committee Chairman on Finance, going by my status or my profile. Now, because of that, being the only woman in the State Assembly, he always said, why not take the Chairman House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development? I was like, is it done anywhere? It has never been done anywhere. Even in the Adamawa State Assembly, no single representative is given 2 offices, 2 important offices. I emphasize 2 important offices. But in my own case, it happens. So I want to believe that the Speaker and my colleagues, the honorable members, believe in me. They have that confidence in me that I can deliver. And that is why they allow the Speaker to give me this committee chairman, the double committee chairman. Honestly, I am short of words, but let me just quickly tell you that I have the moral support of my colleagues. I have their inputs whenever I'm doing anything. They give me all the necessary support. So I have no hitches whatsoever. Although, being the only female legislator in the State Assembly, of course, it is not funny. I'm not finding it easy. Your issues with the men, you share your ideas and they will give you the support. Honestly, in that area of being alone, I'm having headache on it. And by God's grace, like I used to say, the wife of the governor has given me her inputs, her support. And she said by the year 2023, we will ensure more women in the State Assembly. And I want to believe that will happen in our state, God's willing, because I have the support of even His Excellency and the wife of the governor too. She has that, soft spot for women. And recently, giving out support for women too. So you can see the wife of the governor has the interest of the women in her heart. So she's trying all she could to ensure that more women are in the House of Assembly, more women are in the executive arm of government. I want to tell you that honestly, we are working towards ensuring that more women come to the House of Assembly come 2023. And the issue of VAP bill that I just passed into law, like I told you, my main counterpart have, contributed a lot. I was given the necessary support from the speaker to the members of the house in the VAP bill, in the area of wife battery, spousal battery. The men were like, Honorable Kate, why are you telling us we cannot beat our wives or what? I said, not like that. They were like, don't do that for us. I said, no, we will ensure that it is minimized to the barest level, because the wife battery, most especially, has been an issue of concern in our homes. You find out that a woman is being relegated to the bottom and become a punching bag by her husband. So such things are there in the VAP bill, that if you beat your wife unnecessarily, the law is saying you are under punishment. And the issue of sending your spouse out or your children out of your house, it is also an offense in the VAP bill. And the VAP bill is saying if you send your wife or your children out of your home for just no reason, honestly, the law is going to deal with you. And we are saying you are going to be there in prison for 3 months. Initially it was 3 years, but the members of the House Assembly are saying if we are to put 3 years on a wicket, it will cause more harm than good in the family. And I reason with them. Now we will reverse it to 3 months. Honestly, I appreciated them very well, and because they've given me all that I needed in the VAP bill, and lo and behold, it is now a law in Adamawa State. Although His Excellency is to amend or to sign to give out his assent to sign the law, but I believe he's going to do it because he said he's the one waiting for us. He's in a hurry to sign the bill, and I want to believe he's going to sign it without any hesitation. Yeah, thank you.
Well, Honorable, let me join everyone here, but also, all the women in Adamawa State and the young girls in Adamawa State to thank you for that singular effort. When we talk about needing more women in positions of power and decision making, what Honorable Mamuno has demonstrated is the reason why we say we need it. Just one woman in the legislative arm of government in the State Assembly in Adamawa, but because of her, people will go punished if they engage in sexual or gender-based abuse. Please appreciate Honorable in the chat. We do not take it for granted because this is one state. This is one state, and the state has thousands and thousands of women and young girls who will be protected by this law. So for those of us who don't understand when we're talking about women being in positions of power and decision making, what Honorable Mamuno has demonstrated is exactly why we do the work we do at Electa. So once again, Honorable, thank you so much for that singular act. And we know that the governor will assent to it. And the people of Adamawa will be grateful to you forever for that singular effort. So I want to highlight a few things again that came out of that. You talked about coalition building. So even though you are the only woman currently in the State Assembly, and that must change in 2023, but it was important for you to build coalitions, not just with your fellow members in the state, but also with the wife of the governor and with the governor himself. So I think coalition building is really critical, and it's something that you highlighted very well. The other thing that I think is interesting is you talk about compromise, right? Because what we want when she leads to be is that when women watch this, they know that it is possible and this is how you do it. So it was 3 years for the State Assembly members to support. They said, why don't we go with 3 months, and you compromise. So thank you very much, Honorable, for that. And then the final one that I have here is culture shift. So as you said, the men said, are you coming up with a law that will restrict us, but you were able to show them the potential benefits of that singular law, to actually change the culture, but for the better. So again, once again, Honorable, thank you so much.
Sorry. Just a quick one. Sorry.
Yes.
Let me just add up something here. While after passing the bill into law, the wife of the governor gave me an award. She gave me an award that I'm a top gender advocate. That one is a credit to me, it's a plus to me. After that, the Northeast Humanitarian Innovation also honored me with an award. So I feel I should tell you, to let you know that this is what is happening around me. I want you to also extend your appreciation to Our Excellency and the Northeast Humanitarian Innovation. Thank you.
Yes, and we're joining them to celebrate you as well, Honorable, because you deserve it. Because what you've done is a generational shift and change. So let's begin to move into how 2023 will change, because for us to ensure that 2023 we do things differently and it leads to a different outcome, which is more women sitting with you in the State Assembly, we need to first identify what the challenges are. So, Honorable, in your opinion, what are some of the constraints that has prevented women from running for this membership seat that you ran for? And why are you the only woman? What are some of the practical constraints in Adamawa State that you see and you have observed?
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Honestly, we have a lot of challenges, constraints at our own culture here. Sometimes the religion plays a vital role in the life of a woman. In some there's religions that are saying a woman cannot lead, a woman cannot stand in the front and be talking. This barrier is a constraint, is a challenge to our women. Another area of challenge or constraint is the area of finances. You find out that some women are not capable of having they don't have the strength or the money to contest, to go out and vie for election. Although not all women are poor, some women are even richer than the men. Yet, religion and culture hinder women in participating into politics. This one is a cancer worm in the life of our women in Adamawa State. But thank God, with the awareness and advocacy we are doing now, I want to assure you that more women will be coming, because I have this group, Adamawa Women in Politics, and I'm privileged to be the president. So I used to train women, most especially in the rural area, to enlighten them, to show them the need to join politics so that they can contribute their quota, so that they can be in the decision making. Whenever a decision is being made and a woman did not contribute, you find out that we are relegated to the bottom. And this is why I'm going out there, advocacy, giving awareness to our women, to our traditional rulers, to our stakeholders in our constituency, to ensure that they allow women to participate in politics. So I want to believe that by the year 2023, more women will come in, because they are given that awareness to know that it is not always the men that will participate in politics. After all, we form the larger population in election. During election, you find out that the women came out. They used to come out with their children to queue in order to vote the people of their choice or the man of their choice. Why can't we do it? Why can't we contest so that the men can vote for us? This is one area we are giving awareness to our women in the rural area, most especially. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I mean, this is just, anytime it's almost like, you are playing the script of all the solutions that we have developed at Elect Her, that we, based on research and evidence, show are constraints to getting women elected. I mean, you talk about religion and cultural beliefs, which just continues to reinforce stereotypes that women cannot lead. Politics is not for women. You talk about finances, which has been a huge constraint, but unfortunately we refuse to talk about it and to bring it to the fore. And for those people just joining us, before you joined, we talked about Agenda 35, which is a $10 million fund that Elect Her launched earlier this month. What we hope to do with that fund is to empower 1,000 women to run, but directly fund 35 women to decide, run, and win. Also, two other parts of Agenda 35 is that we are advocating for a legislated quota for women. And the final part is that, as Honorable said, we are creating awareness on why people should elect women when they go to the polls, because people are used to electing men when they get to the polls. But we need to create the awareness and do the advocacy so that people know that women are an option on the ballot. So, Honorable, one of the things that I would like to talk about is what would be your thoughts on legislating a gender quota? Is that something you think that your honorable members in the Adamawa State House of Assembly will be open to, or is it something that they will push back on? And just to emphasize, what I mean by that is, so for example, ahead of 2023, there is a bill that says we will reserve 35%. I mean, it should be parity, which is 50-50. But if we say 35% of the seats in the state assembly will be reserved for women, is that something you think is a good idea? Or do you think we should start at the party level? What would be your recommendation?
Well, thank you. This issue of 35% affirmative action for any appointment or even elective position in Nigeria, I think I will recommend for early participation in politics by the women. They should participate at the early stage, the formation stage, when executives are being formed, that is congresses. You should have a card, you should be a card carrying member, as a party member. That's what I'm saying. By so doing, you'll be participating in their meetings, participating in their whatever they're doing. If it is workshop, if it is training, you are there at the early stage. I'm saying early participation is the best time for us, or best reason for us to be carried along by the men. Because if you are there, participating always, you are doing everything with the men, they will see you and they will know that you are serious as a woman. You started from the scratch. They will know it, that you are serious, and they will never play or downplay your right. They will know that if anything should go contrary to what you're doing, because you started earlier, they will know that they will be scared, and they will say, no, we cannot afford to cheat on this woman. So I'm calling on all the women and the girls as well to participate early in party politics at the party level. Hit whichever party you want to join, just make sure that you are there at the early stage. This, I think, it will happen. It will be of help to the women folk. Another thing you're saying about gender participation or equal participation by men, honestly, I don't see it happening in Nigeria. That's the truth. We must tell ourselves the truth, because the men have gone far ahead of us, and they have tested power, they've tested the joy therein, or the happiness in being elected or being in the executive arm of government. So they will not allow women to come in as elected members or executive members. Honestly, we will try or strive to ensure that the 35% is being enacted. Even in the VAP bill, it is there. We ask the executive to confirm or to assent to 35% action, so that women can come in. If we are 35%, we don't need 50% more. We just need that 35% alone we can change the narratives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. You are really giving us practical, advice today and showing us, the steps that we need to take. So for those of us who are here with us, first, let me say that you can start to put your questions in the Q&A section, which is at the bottom of your screen. Please, put your Q&A, your questions there. But I want to emphasize something that Honorable shared, which is we talk about women getting involved, women participating, but that starts with, are you, first of all, a registered voter, right? If you want to participate by voting, then if you want to participate by getting elected, Honorable raises a very important point. Are you a member of a party? Are you a card-carrying member? Elect Her is non-partisan, and you heard Honorable, she's a member of a party, but she did not talk about her party. She said, just join a party. And she talks about early participation as a strategy, right? So women, we cannot show up 6 months before election because, like she said, the men have had power for a long time. It means they've created infrastructure for themselves. There's so much they can leverage, right? So we need to start early. You need to be, part of the party, attend the meetings. You need to get involved, contribute. And then when they're doing Congress, right, and nominating delegates, then you will be there and then you will have a role. And like she said, when they're nominating positions as well, in the party leadership, then you can raise your hand because you've been participating. So thank you so much, Honorable. I think these are really, really practical steps that you have highlighted. However, Honorable, I heard you say that parity is not possible. So I want to ask you a very interesting question, and I cannot wait to hear your response. And the question is, ahead of 2023, do you think Nigeria is ready for a female president? And if not, why? And what do we need to do to get one in the future or in 2023?
Wow, this is a very interesting question. And honestly, to be fair to the women and to be sincere, Nigeria is not ready for a female president. The reason is simple. Like I said earlier on, the men, when it comes to physical strength, the men are above the women. The women on our part also, we are not ready for ourselves. Why did I say so? Because our women, sometimes we don't take things serious. We are always thinking we are women, we cannot afford, we cannot do anything. And we don't try, we don't come out to try. There's no harm in trying. What is it? Initially, we have our mother, Madam Sarah Jibril, that came out. Nobody voted for that woman, including our women. So what are we saying? Are we ready for that? Knowing fully well this is a woman, you will support her. And the women, as a woman, we have our party. I'm not saying that we have a registered party. You as a woman, whoever comes as a woman, you support her because she is a woman like you. This is our party. That's our party. You understand? And I think women of Nigeria should sit up to kind of help themselves, come together, that will work as a team to achieve our aims and objectives. Honestly, we are not ready, ma. Let me tell you the truth. Because even for the women folk, they are not out to help ourselves. We are not out to help ourselves. That is the truth. Forget about we don't have the finances. It is not about education. It's not about finances now. It's about helping or coming out together to help ourselves. And I tell you, if only we can do that, Nigeria will now have a female president. And it's high time you people bring women together, teach them or give them that awareness to know that women can do it. What is it? We can do it. We have all it takes to become president of this nation. We have it. We have it. if it is qualification, if it is mentality, even if it is about money, like I said, honestly, the women can do it. We can affirm a female president in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I mean, I felt your passion there. And you're saying, look, we're the ones holding ourselves back. Yes, there are genuine constraints, there are genuine barriers, but we also need to show up. You know, we need to be ready. And we need to, you know, I like what Olusegun put in the chat. Women, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And, you know, as Honorable said earlier, start early. Early participation can be a game changer. And then creating the awareness. And Honorable, we can assure you on our part as elector, we will do what we can to ensure that we, you know, enlighten citizens on the importance of voting for women. We recognize that the challenge is the leadership people have seen, all of us growing up, is male leadership, right? So it needs to be a new orientation for people to know that women can lead. And we will do the work. We will continue to do the work around advocacy, creating awareness, to ensure that women are voted for. So we have 15 minutes to go. I do not believe that all the participants here, all the many of you that I can see, do not have any questions for Honorable. So quickly put your question in the chat or raise your hands, and I will invite you to speak and ask your question before we start to wrap up. Honorable has made herself available, and we would not want to take more time than we had requested. So we have 15 minutes to go. Please put your questions either in the Q&A box or raise your hands, and I will welcome you to ask your question. So Honorable, while we wait for that, the question I have for you is, how do we start to get young girls to understand the importance of getting involved in politics?
You know, sometimes even the women or the girls, we have issues within ourselves. But like you said, what are we going to do to ensure women come up or join politics? To tell them that it is not alone. We need to tell our children, most especially girls, that you can do these things, you know, if given the space. Although sometimes I don't think we are lacking the space. We have the space already, but it's just that there are some hindrances, some hitches along the way. But I think if we can go out there to kind of teach the younger ones, show them that they matter in decision making, their inputs are needed in decision making, they will feel belong. You know, sometimes it is not as if they don't have the inputs, they have it, but so nobody is there to tell them the truth. Nobody is there to tell them the truth. See, my baby or my girl, you have all it takes to join or to contribute your quota in decision making, in making Nigeria develop or developing Nigeria. But you see, honestly, we have a lot of work to do for our girls, our women, to come up with inputs that will make Nigeria great. You shouldn't be relegated to the bottom. You shouldn't be seen as a second-class citizen. No, we are all equal in this nation. We are all equal. And we must stand out to the reality that we are equal. If not, we'll be giving ourselves headache. We'll be thrown away by the men. You see, even sometimes in Nigeria, let me put it this way. You know, the president was saying the woman or the woman is she belongs to the kitchen and the other room. Can you imagine that insult? I don't think it is like that. That was then. Women are coming. Why are we going to school? We are reading. People are studying. Women are studying a lot. And they have the educational background, they have the mental background, they have all that matters to rule or to kind of lead in the society. So we must take up our challenges at the early stage, like I said. We must come out and enlighten our girls. We must come out and tell them the truth about their nature, that they are equally human beings. With the men, it doesn't matter. They don't have anything better than the girls. The men, I'm talking about the men. So why are we putting our girls into bondage? We must bring them out by awareness, taking advocacy to them, showing them that this is what is supposed to be done. This is what you are supposed to do as a woman or as a girl. I think we can have our way if only we are allowed or we're given this knowledge to know that we matter a lot in decision making. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Those were, gems. And the highlight of that is we need to start reorientating young girls to know who they are and that they are equal. I loved how that came out when you said it. Men and women, boys and girls are equal. And we must not forget persons with disabilities. We are all part of the country and we should all be part of the political system. So thank you, Honorable. We have 2 questions and I would like to invite Segun to ask both his questions, and then we will move on to Yetunde quickly so that Honorable can take all the questions. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. So, Honorable, thank you. This has been phenomenal, and I really applaud your courage and all the effort and work you have done. So, for me, the question is, what I see a lot of men, and you would attest within the northern context, have numbers. So we have numbers because with the way Nigeria is structured, we have a lot of people that are unaware. So how do we reach the grassroots women to get these numbers, in terms of participation, in terms of awareness, and what role can the women in the grassroots play? Because when it comes to voting is sort of a numbers game. So how do we reach the grassroots women to make them know that their voices matter, their voices count, and they can really count on another women with making their votes count? I think that's a very critical question. And I just want to hear from your perspective, because I think this is very, very important in terms of women participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Segun. Honorable, over to you.
Yeah, thank you for a good question. It's a very important question. I like it. Honestly, like I said, if you follow the trend right now, you will notice that I said I have an organization by name Adama Women in Politics. I'm talking about my own perspective now. We have this organization that is out to showcase or to tell women that, see, girls and women, your voice matters in the decision making of this, to give them that awareness, or that their voices or their inputs are required in the society. They shouldn't be seen as a castaway, or they shouldn't be seen as nobody. Women, like I said, girls and women are people of this country. We have equal rights in the country. That is why we are agitating for gender-based equality, equal right. And when we say equal right, we are not saying the same right with men physically anyway. We are saying employment, even to appointment. We need it. We must tell our people at the grassroots, like we said. And that is what I'm doing now.
Let me invite Yetunde to ask her question as we begin to wrap up. Honorable, please, if you can hear me, I'm just going to get Yetunde to ask her question.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
But I'm listening.
Go ahead, Yetunde.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time with us today. So I wanted to ask about the role of education in preparing us for public service. If our curriculum is robust enough to produce quality public servants, and this speaks to male and female, like it's not just a female, but just the whole idea of, it's one thing to get people into office, it's one thing for them to know what they're doing in office. I'm not privy to that. Like if we have, okay, let me rephrase it. So for when you're in school, children in primary school, secondary school, you know that you want to be a doctor, you talk about taking sciences, you emphasize it. But I don't think we really have a path in our educational system that shows you this is the path into public service. It's not as if it's a promoted career path, and then if it's not promoted, you don't even know what you're supposed to go and do there, how you're supposed to be effective there. Do you think our educational system is robust enough to do that? Do you think we will be doing that? And how do you think it affects, what we're seeing now in regards to, public service, unequal numbers?
Thank you so much, Yetunde. So Honorable, the question that Yetunde asked is, our curriculum is not currently designed in a way that it encourages people to go into public service, and what can we do? Go ahead, Honorable. While we expect Honorable back, I can see that Adiola has a question. Adiola, I'm gonna invite you to ask your question so Honorable can take it together. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. I was just asking, what about people in diaspora that feel the need to want to join or come back home and do something in public service because of all the challenges that we see from afar? What role can we play, and how can we get back into the system? Is there any advice for people like us who have this burning desire to help out?
Yes,
Right.
So there are two questions. One is about education, and the second one is about people who are in diaspora, who have a burning desire to come back home and get involved. But what they see from afar is not a nice picture. And how do they get involved? Thank you, ma'am.
Well, let me start from the last question. You see, if they really have burden to assist or to help in reviving our education system, why not? They can come back and do it. If what we are having in the nation is not something, or it's not good enough for them, I think it's high time they come back and help us out of this maze. About the educational, is it the girl child education or general education?
Yes, I think she meant general education. And she's saying when people say they want to be doctors, they want to be lawyers, nobody says I want to be a public servant. What does that mean? And so when they get into public service, what playbook are they using? Or what is guiding, effective public service? We don't know. So she's asking, should we make it part of the curriculum? And is it part of the curriculum? I don't think it is, but is it something that we need to put as part of the curriculum?
It is not part of the curriculum, but we need to put it in order to start. In fact, it's another reason or another point for early, knowledge or understanding of politics or public service. You see, it's all about appointment or election. And I think if we can have such thing as a curriculum in the educational system or our universities, I think our students will have a lot to tap there, and they will have every reason to join the public service. There will be no hitches there. But as long as this national or this Nigerian context is concerned, it is not there. But I'm advising, if it can be put there back to the curriculum, we will like it, so that we will have a background training, a background knowledge of why we must or we need to join the public service. I think is not out of place. This is my question.
Thank you, Honorable. And I want to just reiterate to Adiola. I think it was Adiola that asked the question about diaspora. So Elect Her serves as that bridge, at least from a participation perspective, and we're getting involved perspective. So we have a decide to run community for those of you who are interested in running for elective office. It doesn't have to be in 2023. It could be in the future. Join our decide to run community. We are equipping the women there. We're providing them with the right skills, the right information, so that they are prepared now or in the future. And this includes, Adiola, people maybe like you or others who would be considered non-traditional candidates who want to come back into the system. So we're equipping people. So that would be a great place to start if you're looking for that sort of community. But Honorable, on behalf of Elect Her, I want to say thank you for your time today. And thanks to everyone that joined us on this When She Leads edition. Look out for the next one. I mean, we've learned so much today. We'll be sharing the video so you can share it with your friends, with your families. But Honorable, I just want to thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for your commitment, and know that as elector, we're always here to support you. Thanks everyone, and have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. Bye everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Bye.